Afternoon, gardeners. I'm cooking a beef balti tonight. Last night, Tony and I popped into Sainsbury's on our way home from carving club, and they had some beautiful little steaks. I think they were £4 for four. So we had one each this morning as a breakfast bun with loads of onions. Oh, it was gorgeous. Anyway, looking through my cupboards, I have a jar of sauce. Very well out of date, but always check by the button in the centre. And if it stays firm, safe enough to eat. So I've gone round the garden and I've picked some little teeny weeny patty pans. We are forecast a frost and they won't survive. So that, oh, okay, off they come. Everything goes in a curry when I'm cooking. I've got some French beans, an onion, several different varieties of tomato. This one is called Big Pink. It could do with being a bit redder, but it's going in a curry, so it doesn't matter. Beautiful apple from the tree. Gorgeous chard. Now the leaves aren't looking great. Well, on most of them, they've been picked to bits by slugs and God knows what, but the stalks are perfect for a curry. So I'm going to stop there and I'll come back in a minute. Right, there's the onion and the steak in there, and I'm going to leave that fry until it's all beautiful and golden brown. I love to fry my onions in with the steak when I'm cooking it. No seasoning at this particular moment in time, but I'll be back in a second and I'll show you what I'm doing with the veggies. Right, there's the steak and the onions cooking, and I've added about a half teaspoonful of each of dried nutmeg and dried ginger. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add all the veggies. This is a one pan meal and I'm going to add all the veggies. I've got three beautiful colours of chard, some pretty purple and green French beans, a nice mix of tomatoes and those little tiny patty pan squash and a little courgette. The apple I'm going to cut up in a second once I've got these veggies into the pan. I'm going to throw them all in now and just let them get on with all squishing and cooking down. They're going to be absolutely beautiful. And I'll come back in a minute and I'll show you once I've got the veggies in and the apple chopped down. There we go. I've got all the veggies in and the apple, and I'm going to give it a really good stir, and then when that's all mixed in, I'm going to snip this with a pair of scissors into the mix. And when I've done that and given it all a really good stir, I'm going to add that jar of sauce and about a third of the jar of water. I'm going to add it all, give it a really good mix, and then I'm going to turn it down low and let it all simmer away. And that, my lovely friends, is how you make a really, really simple, cheap jar of sauce go a very long way. Now, this coriander here, there's a lady up north, and I happened to meet her when my lovely friend and neighbour Joan died. It turns out that Susan has an allotment on the same site as Tony Smith. I don't know if you follow Tony Smith. Have a little look, he's up north. But Susan and her lovely partner Ian, they got to know each other because of Joan. It's a funny old world, isn't it? And we just happened to get talking, and I happened to mention Tony Smith, and it turns out she has the allotment just across the way from him. So, I don't know if you watch this, Susan, but if you do, I will thank you for this coriander. It's Vietnamese coriander, and it is the most gorgeous, gorgeous, fragrant herb. It's kind of got hints of orange, maybe lemon. Doesn't taste like coriander. It tastes absolutely beautiful. So, as I say, I'm going to give that a good stir, snip in the coriander, add the jar of sauce, and leave it to have a really good simmer. So, if you want for curries, give it a whirl. Go into your garden and whatever you've got that's ready now, chop it up and chuck it in a curry. It all tastes amazing. Happy gardening, folks.